Don't you love it when someone pokes into your personal business, reveals all your secrets, and airs out your dirty laundry? No? Well, too bad, because today we are going to talk about the archetype that is responsible for all those things. Today, we're talking about Pluto. Talking about Pluto for me is very interesting because I have a lot of Pluto in my chart. Scorpio is the strongest sign in my chart, even though it's not my sun sign, but it's definitely the strongest. It has the most placements and the strongest placements in my chart. So there's a lot of Scorpio in me. There's a lot of Pluto in me. You know, Pluto goes into the hidden places. Pluto goes into your unconscious places. Pluto goes to the things that are kept secret by you or that you don't even know about in your personality or in your environment, in the world. And Pluto goes there and reveals things. So it's this process of Pluto going into the places of hiddenness, and things are going to be brought to light. Things are going to be brought from the underworld to the above world, from the unconscious or the unknown to the known to the conscious realm. And Pluto is the revealer of secrets, basically. There's at the same time this intensification of energy and the intensification of whatever topic and house and sign Pluto is in. And at the same time, all the dark aspects of that area, of that sign, of that house are being brought to light. For example, when I was born, Pluto was in the sign of Scorpio. And we had, the AIDS epidemic. Well, things just turned like dark somehow, in like a psychological way. There was a more of like a therapeutical, psychological approach to like deal with the past trauma of people and their sexual darkness and everything. It was more acceptable, for example, to have if I say it right, BDSM kinks and all that. So not that all these things are dark in the sense of like being evil or something, but just hidden, like taboo, like things that we usually don't talk about. Pluto will just come and just put it all on the table. Pluto will just, take the dirty laundry, the skeletons in the closet, and just put it all in front of us and say, okay, now deal with this. That's Pluto. And I like that. Because Scorpio is so strong in my chart, I really don't like when people put on a facade, when people like act a certain way, and everything's fine, everything's great, we're all one great society, our family's okay, blah blah blah. But in the background or in the hidden places, there's all this stuff happening. And I don't like when people get away with that for too long. I want to know what's behind the curtain. I want to cut through the bullshit. One of the things that Pluto is described as is just the reality of getting in touch with what's really there, like what's really real. We play this game and then someone comes and says, well, this is what's really happening. You've been acting for long enough, but like, who are you really? What's really there? What's true? What's the direct experience of who you really are, or what this really is? Pluto's co-ruled Scorpio. Scorpio, I mean, for example, one explanation I've read from Stephen Forrest, he's one of the astrologers that I've read recently, and he gives the example of like if someone would take a scorpion and let's say put it on your shoulder, right? Or put it on your backpack or something, or in your backpack. The second you would realize that there's a scorpion on your shoulder or in your backpack, what's the most important thing in that moment to you? It's not how you look, it's not how you come across, it's not if people will like your behavior or whatever. It's only get that scorpion out of my backpack, or get me out of this backpack, or get this off my shoulder. So it's a direct experience of what really matters in that moment. And that's the Scorpion energy in a nutshell, basically. It's a really good description because Scorpio really wants to get to the bottom of what really matters, what's really there. What are we really dealing with here? So Scorpio wants to get behind the curtain. Scorpio wants to get underneath the matter and to the bottom of things. Scorpio wants to go into the basement and find out what you're hiding. And for many reasons, one of them being that the Mars aspect that Scorpio is afraid of vulnerability and also wants to know other people's vulnerabilities so that Scorpio can protect itself and also beat other people in the competition of life. So we talked about that in the Mars episode. But the Pluto aspect is an intensification of that desire to deal with what really matters, what's truly there, cut through all the bullcrap, through all the facades, and just really what's really there. Thinking about all the archetypes that we've talked about so far, and thinking about all the different aspects of life that they cover. And last episode we talked about Neptune and the fact that Neptune kind of reveals to us where we live in illusion and gives us the experience of disillusionment. So imagine that that will be the last step before you get to Pluto. And Pluto then is really the experience of, after you've been disillusioned, okay, so now what's really there? What's left? When all the illusions have been removed, what's left? What's really there? That's Pluto. Pluto will, in an intense way, just get us into experience with reality. I like that, as I said. I would say that to 90%, that's really what I'm about. I really want to figure out what this whole thing that we call life is really about. Like, what's the point? What is really happening here? There's so much blah blah out there, and so many opinions, and so many movements, and people playing a game. But what's real? What are we really doing here? What's really happening? And a lot of the questions, I guess, that we are faced with, they can't be answered really. What's reality or what's really there is not something we can really talk about. It's not like we can write a book about it and then say this is what's really happening in life, even though many people try. But you can't write a book and explain what's really happening in life. What's reality? Because to really get to the bottom of that, you need to remove all thought, because every thought you have is just a half-truth. Because it is, to a great extent, just your perspective, your understanding, and it oftentimes doesn't describe really what's really there. We talked about that last episode when I said, this is not a ring, this is not a wedding ring, this is silver. And the silver is not silver, we just gave it a name, and that's what silver is. So it's this thing that we've called silver in our language, but there's many other languages that have a different name for it. So the names can't be the thing, because the names are interchangeable. You can change them, you can change the labels and call things different things, and even depending on your situation, things turn out to be a different thing in your experience than they are in someone else's. For example, you right now are a camera to me. Weird, right? You're a camera lens that I'm talking to, but I, in your current experience, am a screen and a picture and sound, a computer probably, or a phone. So things are not really what we think they are or what we experience them to be. So then what's really happening? And that's really the Pluto pushing question behind everything. What's real? Now in future episodes, I want to talk about my cosmology surrounding the astrological archetypes, how I understand, what I understand this all means, the order of the planets and the archetypes and their message and everything. But for now, I just want to wrap this episode up with just saying that, at the end, the most outer planet that we can see or know about, Pluto, there's this just question and the desire to really experience reality, to really know what matters, to really have no facades anymore, no illusions, no pretense, no games, just reality as it is. I think I beat the horse dead now, and as I said, this was for now the last episode in this series on the astrological archetypes. And I will probably take a week of a break before I start posting the next series. If you have questions, comments, ideas, thoughts, down in the comments. And please like and subscribe. I appreciate you. Have a good day.